Hi friends, welcome to the Love Your Body Challenge. My name is Shelby Lapine and I am so excited to be here with you today. Now, I know you guys are busy, I know you have kids knocking on your door and husbands texting you and life is just blowing up right now, but I'm going to be fully present with you here for the next 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to ask you a favor. Turn off the phone, turn off the TV, lock your door, hide in your bathroom if you need to. Do what you gotta do. Set aside 30 minutes just for you to work through this material with me. I know that this is going to completely shift your mindset and all those wellness goals you've been hoping to achieve. So let's get right into it. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you several questions actually, and I need to know if this sounds like you. Are you constantly beating yourself up, belittling yourself, talking down to yourself, criticizing yourself, talking negatively about your body? If that sounds like you, then this program is for you. We are going to walk through 3 key steps that are vital for not only your mental health, but any fitness goal you set out to achieve. So in this video, we're going to cover 3 key things. Number 1, stop the crazy cycle. Number 2, identify your success. And number 3, develop a new mindset for your life. Now, for those of you who don't know my story, when I was a young girl, I constantly felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I don't know if that's something you guys have struggled with, where you just felt angst or unease or just uncomfortable in your own body. And it's a pretty unpleasant place to be. So from the time I was a little girl, I would spend hours feeling insecure about my body. I would wear layers and layers of clothes because I didn't really want anyone to look at me or see me, and I would really hide from the world. I had a touch of body dysmorphia because in my mind, I felt huge. I felt massive. Part of that could be when I went through puberty. In the span of like 2 or 3 months, I gained like probably 20 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to me it felt like a lot. And it really made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin and gave me a sense of angst about how I looked and felt in my body. And that carried over into adulthood to when I went through college and I actually put on some weight. I gained around 50 pounds at that time, and I really started to feel uncomfortable in my own skin and really started to question what do I need to do differently. At that point, I began trying diet after diet after diet. I tried different exercise programs and nothing seemed to stick. And I really, really struggled for a long time to figure out exactly what I needed to work on. Ironically, it was around this time that I had met with someone who asked me a question that completely shifted my perspective. They asked the question, why are you unhappy with your body? And at first my answer was like very superficial. I said, oh, I'll be happy when I'm a size 4, or I'll be happy when I lose X amount of pounds. But the more I really wrestled with that idea, the more I realized that happiness is an emotion. It's something that we all seek in various forms, but happiness in and of itself doesn't lead to true, lasting joy. It was around this time that I was studying to become a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and I really became fascinated with this concept of why do some people change and other people don't? How does behavior modification occur? Why are some people content and happy in life, whereas others stay miserable and stay stuck for years and years and years? And as I wrestled with these questions, I began to think there has to be a better way. There has to be a different pattern other than the cycle of self-hatred that I've just stuck with all these years. It was around this same time that I had a revelation. I came to realize that love is a choice. And it was around this time period that I was able to implement significant changes in my own life. I completely changed my diet. I completely changed how I exercised. I stuck to a routine for the first time in my life. And I started to implement these habits that ended up shifting my entire perspective and how I looked at myself. And the funny thing was that these emotional changes occurred first. The physical changes came later, and as they usually are, physical changes are always slower and take more time. And so after I made the decision that love is a choice, I began to realize something. When you constantly tell yourself something negative, you begin to believe that. The same goes with family members or friends. Have you ever had a difficult family member or friend who was hard to love? Well, those individuals, they don't change. The only thing we can change in those scenarios is how we respond to them. And so we can choose to love difficult people even if we don't want to, even if it's hard, even if we're frustrated. And so I began to learn that if I make a decision to love myself, that will actually follow my path. I can lead myself to a better mental space. And it was at that point that I began to decide no more. I'm not going to continue with this cycle of self-hatred and self-criticism. I'm going to choose to love myself. Shelby, you may ask, how is that possible? I don't feel love to myself. Well, our thoughts come before our emotions. And I have people who I say that to, and they really struggle with that idea. They think that their emotions are the fact, the truth of the matter, that if I feel something, that must be the truth of the situation. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying emotions aren't important. They are. But if we follow our emotions, if we let our emotions lead us, we will never find victory and growth in our lives. So step one is stop the crazy cycle. If you get out your worksheet, you will see that there is a section for you to write down key destructive patterns that you have been clinging to. This is extremely important because if you don't first identify the patterns you're in, it will be very difficult to move forward and find new patterns and new ways of coping. So I want you to pause right now and I want you to write down the destructive patterns that you've been holding to. Let me give you a few examples. A lie would be, I will be happy when I'm size X, or when I lose 10 pounds. Another lie will be, I would be happy if I looked like so-and-so, or I will be good enough when I achieve XYZ. Those are self-destructive patterns that if we hold to, we will never be able to grow into a new person. And so pause right here, take a minute, and identify what those patterns are. I'll wait. Did you do it? No cheating. You have to actually do the work if you want to see changes in your life. So that was step one, stop the crazy cycle. Step two is identify success. And this is a topic that I think is very common in our Western society. A lot of people measure their success and their value by what they achieve. We're a very individualistic, goal-oriented society. And so I think that mindset permeates our whole culture. So as an individual, you need to decide what success looks like for you. I had a mentor who explained this to me. They said, we are human beings, not human doings. If when you're talking to someone, if your value and your esteem comes from the job description you put behind your name, that is not a healthy way to live your life, because our achievements are just a piece of who we are. They don't define our worth and our value. All of us are born with value, and that's something that I know psychologists could argue, but I truly believe that every individual has value, regardless of the choices they make. Now, that value is always there. It never goes away. But I think if we link our value with what we achieve, we will always have a sense of inferiority and dissatisfaction with our lives. So we need to separate the two. We need to hang on to that baseline level of value, that value that cannot change. It's the value you see when you look at your children. It doesn't matter what mistakes your kids make in a day. When you look at them, you see their potential, you see their beauty, you see their passion, you see their strengths, you see their struggles. It doesn't matter. You see their value. You have that same value. Whether or not you see it is irrelevant. You have that same value. Now, On the flip side of that, if you are going to separate success from your value, you need to clearly define what success looks like. And this is tricky because some people want to measure success by what they achieve, what they check off their to-do list, what they accomplish in a day. That is not a healthy way to look at success. Success needs to be within your control. So if I'm successful, if my kids are well behaved all day and eat their food and get good grades, I'm going to feel like a failure often because I can't control my children. I can love them and discipline them and try to teach them good things, but at the end of the day, their decisions are their own. Same thing with me. If I want to feel successful in a day, I have to have a measurement for success that is tangible and it's something within my control. So for me, I measure my success in the day by how well I achieve these 3 things. I want to be brave, authentic, and generous. If I go through my day and I embody to the best of my ability those 3 quality traits, I call it a successful day. Now, does that mean I'm perfect and do everything perfectly all the time? No. But that's not the goal. My goal is not perfection. My goal is to embody those things and to do it within the best of my ability. So for you, when you're looking at what do I want success to look like in my own life, you need to have a similar parameter. That analogy is called a compass, and another mentor of mine taught me that framework. It's where you set up your life to where I want a compass, I want a direction for my life to go, and it has to be something within my control. So you might have similar words to me, and you might have totally different words, but again, it needs to be something that is tangible and can be easily implemented into your life. It has to be something you can control. If your idea of success is a $1 million house on 200 acres, that's fine, but you can't fully control those things. You can try, but on a daily basis, how much of your success are you putting into external factors? So I want you to pause here and write down what success looks like for you. Good work. We're almost through. Step 3 is implement a new mindset for your life. So here's what I want you to do. If you have children, this exercise will be fairly easy. If you don't have children, I want you to imagine a dear friend, or maybe you have a niece or a nephew or some individual in your life that you really love and care for. And I want you to write a letter to this individual telling them the potential you see in them and the dreams you have for them. And I want you to uplift them. I want you to encourage them. I want you to speak life into them as you would have wanted someone to speak to you. I want you to look at them and have a vision for what you want their life to look like. And I want you to be passionate and articulate and excited and really put some effort and some time into this letter. So I'm going to have you pause again and spend a good 5-10 minutes working on this letter. I hope you took time to do that. If not, pause and go do it. Now, if you've written your letter, here's what I want you to do. I want you to erase the name at the top, and I want you to write your own name. So often we are quick to praise others and quick to see success and value in others, but we fail to see the success and value in ourselves. And sometimes we need an external voice to speak that truth to us. So I'm here today to remind you, you are valuable, you are beautiful, and you are loved. And your external circumstances might not line up with those truths, but that doesn't mean they're not true. And so for the healing process to begin, and you begin to see those things, you have to start practicing speaking that truth to yourself. I want you to brainstorm how you will implement a new mindset routine into your daily life. I would recommend encouraging or considering doing it in the morning. Every morning when I take my kids to school, I have them say the following out loud. I am brave, I am strong, I am smart, God loves me, I am beautiful, and then my boys say I am handsome. Every day before school, I want them to say those things. They might not feel those things every day, but it doesn't matter. They need to have those truths spoken into their lives. And so for you, you need to figure out How are you going to speak truth to yourself even when you don't feel it? So pause again and take a minute to figure out what your new mindset routine is going to look like. So in review, we have learned 3 key things today. 1, stop the crazy cycle. 2, identify success. And 3, implement a new mindset routine for your life. Now, it is soon going to be the new year, and I know some of you are probably wanting to start a new health and wellness routine. I hope that you take away from this training that the mind leads the body. If you implement this routine, you will be far more successful in whatever health and fitness endeavor you try. And maybe your health and fitness endeavor is just trying to get more sleep or trying to stress less. Whatever it is, if you approach this goal from a place of love and compassion, you will be far more successful in your daily life. So, to review, now implementing whatever your fitness goals are into this new mindset training will definitely make you far more successful in whatever your goals are. However, as a mom of 5 with one on the way, I know that additional support is sometimes necessary. And so that's why I created the Brain and Body Bliss program. However, I wanted to expand it to provide some hands-on one-on-one coaching to offer your guys continual support. I know you guys are busy, I know you don't have a lot of time, and I know having someone there to walk alongside you is critical for success. So, if you want to feel better in your body, have more energy, have more enthusiasm for reaching your goals, I believe this program will be for you. Now, this program includes the Brain and Body Bliss course, which really focuses on going deeper into the mindset work that we touched on today. And it also focuses on how you implement these habits in a sustainable way, not just with health and fitness goals, but other areas of your life as well. If you do this program, I'm also including my stress-free meal plan. I'm including 2 one-on-one coaching calls to help you get started. And we will also have a private Facebook group with Q&A sessions and coaching sessions as well. This program will be 5 weeks long. It will start January 6th and it will go for 5 weeks. Like I said, we'll have different things that will help encourage you and keep you motivated. I have some surprises up my sleeve, but I absolutely cannot wait for this new program to launch. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in, you can click the button below. It will take you directly to the checkout, and at that point you will put in your credit card information and it will walk you through the whole process. When you sign up, you will have immediate access to the Brain and Body Bliss program, but the coaching portion of it will not start until January 6th. So if you're a go-getter and you want to get a head start, you're welcome to jump in. Otherwise, I encourage you to wait till that January 6th date so we can all start together. Traditionally, this program would cost around $600. My one-on-one coaching clients pay a high price for the one-on-one attention and time and services that I give them. However, I wanted to offer it to you guys today for the low price of $249. If you are like most Americans, I know you've spent a pretty penny on shakes and other workout equipment. This program will completely reset your mindset and help you find tools to not just make short-term changes, but really find a sustainable change that will completely change how you approach your health and fitness and wellness goals. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'm so honored that you are here, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.